I always tell you that whenever I do something, I check to see if someone's done a video on it. And if they haven't done a video, then I do a video. Now here's the knob. This knob, first this unit goes in the front panel. It gets this lock washer and then this nut. On the other end, it gets this flywheel, this leaded flywheel. The leaded flywheel goes on, and then this lock washer goes on. This nut tightens down, and then this other nut tightens against it. Now, there's disc on here. There's also a sleeve. See this brass sleeve? And when you push it all together, what happens is it forms two plates that ride on the edge of the large disc with the frequencies on it. Now, I'll pull it apart one more time. All right, so this is the first disc. It's being a jerk. Here's one disc. Here's the next disc. All right, so the dial runs in between here. And what causes the friction is right here. This is a washer that's a spring. We used to call them wavy washers, things like that. So when you tighten this all together, you have to have the dial in between here. Now this radio, the dial jumped out. That meant that this thing has been dropped. So this needs to be cleaned up and re-oiled and lubed and put back together. You can't get this out of the radio. You can't get this out of the radio unless you take the weight off first. You hold the outer shaft and turn the two nuts. There's going to be two nuts. One goes against the other one after you tighten the first one. I think I've shown you everything now. It's very important. If you notice with these radios, there's no exploded view of any of the gears or any of that system. And some of the old Navy radios and that, there's no information. So on one of the videos for an NC 173, the guy aims the camera down and he says, the dial runs between these two discs. Well, here they are. And there's a spring. When this all closes up, there's a pressure between these two washers. And they're fiber. And then the dial's in between them. And as you turn the knob on this shaft, it spins on the edge of the dial that has the frequency markings. That turns the dial, and in other words, it's say 60 turns to go fully around, something like that. In other words, it's 60 to 1, something like that. And it's not a veneer, it's a reduction drive. And then after you got the dial moving, that has a gear on it, and that then touches the other gear, which then goes up and runs the tuning capacitor. Right? So this unit, if you drop the radio, because it has a heavy leaded weight on it, it's going to shift this. And that's what happened with this radio. When it shifted that, the dial jumped out from between these two plates. And I knew right away when I got the radio, I made an inspection. I'm like, don't touch that. That ain't working right. And then later on, I opened the bottom up. I looked in there and I saw that the phenolic disc, which has the frequencies on it, has jumped out of this mechanism. So right off the bat, this mechanism has to be taken apart, cleaned, and put back together. But I wanted to do this video for you and for me, because my memory's not that good anymore. I think that's it. All right, I think that's it.